do a shop tool setup and our service truck setup. We had some requests on the farm shop tour video to do this, so I figured why not today. So I have Mark here. He's the man that knows a lot about this. This is his specialty area. I don't know much about it.
In Bo,
but Bo's not here today, so Bo will have to miss out on this one. All right, so we got Marky Mark here, and he's gonna take us around. And
Bo's not here today. Today is Saturday. Otherwise, he'd have been better off showing what he's got.
He has more knowledge with this stuff.
No, he doesn't.
Come on, I'm tooting his horn.
Give him too much credit.
Oh, he'll like that.
Bo used to work in the automotive industry, and he went to Tech, and he's put quite a few years in the auto industry. So he's very knowledgeable on quite a few of these specialty things that he's got. But we'll let him tell you about that at a later date. I guess what we could do here is we could start with the service truck. Bo and I have tweaked it a little bit since I set it up originally, and we got more tweaking to do yet as far as tool layout and some of the stuff that we did. So we'll start in the front, we'll work our way back, and we'll just kind of go around the truck. Right when we started farming, we used to have cattle, and then we transitioned out of cows and we went into crop farming. And as soon as we did, we knew right away that we didn't have a shop, but we knew we needed mobile tools. So what we did back then is we just had a Dodge pickup, and we had a flatbed on it, and we put a fuel tank and a toolbox and a few other things, your torch, just, vise, your bare essentials, and that thing, your basics, and that thing saved us a ton of time. If you don't have some sort of service rig, I would suggest, even your pickup, setting that up even a little better. I know they got swing out boxes and different things. So we picked this truck up. Like I said, we farmed with a flatbed for probably 7-8 years. We picked this truck up probably 2-3 years ago. It came from down by the cities, which would be southern Minnesota, and I believe it looks like from some of the old sticker markings on it, it was a John Deere service truck from out west somewhere. But we wanted, what we were looking for is a service body that we could put a fuel tank in the front. And when we come across this thing, my cousin actually found it and sent it to me, and it's like, hey, what do you think of this? And we bought it right away. But anyway, what's nice about this truck, it's got the Duramax in it, it's got the Allison automatic, it's a nice heavy truck, it's got a nice cab on it, it's not all tore up. Okay, so we had Grand Forks Welding build us this service tank. It's about 480 gallons. We had a sight glass put in here, or just a hose, and then we had a little shield built for it. So that way you can always see the level of your fuel. And like right now, it's right here. So I wonder how much is in there. And then we had a 30-gallon stainless def tank built also for it. So that's just all in one that way. So when you're putting on fuel, you fill the def, and away you go. So another thing we did is we put our pump system in this door down here, which was kind of tricky. Originally we started with just a 2-inch banjo pump, and then we changed the seal in it so it would handle fuel, but then it just gas and a little engine down inside of here. It made it more kind of clustered. So what we did is we come in here and we put a electric motor with a pump, and then that's for the fuel, and it comes right from the top, right from underneath the tank, shut off valve, goes right into the pump, comes out the pump, goes around the back side and up to that hose reel. So we'll show you that. And then this here is a DEF pump, and that's plumbed right into the bottom of that stainless tank. And then here's your hose for that. So everything's inside here and out of the weather. And when it's powered by the generator up in there, we'll show you. And then this here, you just click it on, click it off, and that's it. So slick, clean, works good for us. So what we got here is this is the generator welder air compressor system. It's a Deere, but it's probably made by somebody else. The welding leads, it's a stick welder, just hooks right up here. Your generator part right here, and then obviously your engine with electric start tied into the battery on the truck. And yeah, so this here runs down and hooks up to the motor for power. And then another thing we got here is, here's the hose reel. This is where the fuel comes up off the back right to the hose reel, so this is really handy. And then also we put in a drain. That's typically the problem, is when you put your handle away, where do you put it so it doesn't make a huge mess? So anyway, this here just drains down through the floor, right down onto the ground, so that way you're not making a mess.
All right, so we'll do inside the cabinet doors here on this outside of the truck.
Yeah, so we covered the fuel, we covered the DEF, and the generator air compressor welder part of it.
Yep.
Okay.
So now inside.
So this here, the truck came with this in it. It's just a basic pull-out drawer system. So in the bottom here, we have all of our pullers, bars, hammers. You know, it's kind of a little bit of a mixed bag, but that's just how we're gonna have to do that. And right here, this here is our Milwaukee stuff. It looks like Dad's must have some stuff over there. I don't know, we usually have a lot more impacts and stuff in here. Battery powered grinder and a few other things that's not in here, and really like that. Here, drill bits and kind of miscellaneous, some of this miscellaneous smaller stuff. It's kind of handy. These are handy, these 90 degrees impacts, Sawzall, and then usually we got a ton of batteries in here. Like I said, Dad's been in here taking stuff. So. Okay, so what we got here now in this drawer, this is a heat gun, well, infrared thermometer, and then test light, heat gun, trailer connector, chester. We got our Mac tool meter here, and then we got an assortment of sealants with anti-seize, our locks, mechanic wire, and just an assortment of markers and different things. So that's kind of your little bit of a catch-all drawer and your little specialty stuff. Right here, you got a mangler. These things are really handy. Bull was the one that put us on this. He likes them too. See, it's kind of like a kind of like a pipe wrench, but it's kind of different too. It's a different way it works. Seems to work good. Crescent wrenches, vice grips, filter wrench, that type of thing. Channel locks. So anyway, what we got in this drawer is we have our Allen wrenches and Allen sockets, stuff like that. We have our files and putty knives, some specialty bits, chisels over here, punches over here, with obviously just a couple wire brushes hanging out. So then up here what we have is riveting gun, zip ties, rivets, some miscellaneous wire. Up here we have our large snap ring pliers, and we have also tap and dies, metric standard, and then another set of metric. And then up on the very top here we have some electrical stuff. We have our fuses, more fuses, and then we have O-ring kits up there. And then on the very top here, which we got some specialty stuff up here. We got another kind of puller, We got another set of torque wrench stuff. So what we have here too is a seal drive kit for different things. And tire plug repair kit. So that's up there. Also, there's another kit here. This here is another torque type kit. We got torque sockets and we got torque bits. This here is very nice for checking, putting power to something to energize something else. It's pretty handy. So that's pretty slick. Here's the hose reel. This is plumbed right into the air compressor. All right, so what we have here is we have our assortment of, we got some heavy duty bigger tools here. What we have down in here is some big sockets, some nice heavy duty stuff, some miscellaneous wrenches that we don't have room for in there that will cover, grease gun. This light is awesome. If you don't have one of these, get one. Bull brought it home. I was like, what are we going to use that for? We use it all the time. So anyway, we built a little holder area here for all of our lubes and sprays. So we got our different lubes, and then this little holder here for grease. Grease deal holds 6 tubes. You know, just your assortment of miscellaneous sprays that you typically would use on a farm. Gojo up here, them are gloves. There's your nylon gloves.
Bo really likes to wear them.
Yeah, he likes putting them on. And then our rags. So this is kind of how this door is set up. Moving on. So here's another side compartment here. This is what this is the side, one of the toolboxes, like I was telling you, that was on the flatbed that we originally started with. We just took the cover off and then just set it in here for now. It's kind of a little bit of a cluster, but it works for now. So down here we have kind of some odds and ends, vice grips, and some picks and pliers, and just stuff where you don't really have we don't have a pull-out drawer for that. I guess we could take some of that and put in that other one. This here is kind of your small specialty type ratchets, and then screwdrivers, tire pressure gauge, got rolls of emery cloth, and we got tire chuck there. Bunch of these steel magnet trays, them are handy. Also over here we just got kind of some catch-all stuff, some cleaner brushes, scrapers. Yeah. And then up here we have our metric on top, standard here, and then metric standard impacts, and then a various assortment of different size, deep well, shallow well sockets. And here now we got gear wrench, ratchet wrenches. Here's your standard, metric, and you go down under here, and we get into the bigger stuff. We get into the bigger stuff, 1 7/8" and bigger. Oh, this thing here, handy as heck. So an extendable and retractable magnet, works slick.
Wow.
And it's got some, another thing you can use it for if Stephanie doesn't listen, give her a good crack.
Yeah, that don't happen.
Just kidding. This one here, so we just got a little for our extra, our used up cartridges go in there. It's kind of a little garbage can, torch, hand grease gun, and then this little thing here is slicker and snot. It's not ever been like, okay, we got this size here as far as your bolts and stuff. Every service truck or whatever should have like a catch-all bolt bin. And I tell you what, if you don't have it in here, you probably ain't gonna find it anyway. It's just weird. The most random stuff that we take apart or use or whatever, or we're working in the shop, you're like, oh, that might be interesting, we'll throw that in here. But we got one of these that just, it's kind of just a random of everything. And believe it or not, every time we've ever come in here, out in the field, there's something in here that we can use if we're looking for it. I mean,
and I can vouch for that because twice this year when we were out in the field and we needed nuts or a bolt, Dad and I dug through this and we found what we needed.
And then here we got like keyways, roll pins, you know, your random size here. We got band clamps, I mean, all kinds of different assortments of pins and fasteners. Then under here, you know, here we got a little air deal here. This is for, you know, grinding, cutting, or, you know, here's some bits for it. Some of these keepers, some roller chain stuff up there. And then on the bottom, we just got your random, some big washers, pins, U-bolt stuff, cotter keys, even got some pipe thread stuff in here. I mean, just the most random stuff you think you wouldn't need, and then it's there. Then we got tarp, some ratchet straps. This here, it's a little Jeepers Creepers pad. So if you're working on something out in the field, and you don't want, if it's wet or you don't got corn stalks, put your knees on it, that type of thing. Or you can open it up
And take a nap on it.
and yeah, you can sleep on it. No. But yeah, that's handy. Another deal in here. This here is pretty cool. We haven't used it much at all. This is what they call a torque amplifier. Right here. Or lug nut torque multiplier. So I forgot what it says here as far as how many extra. It's crazy the amount of torque you can put on it. So you put this on here like this, and then you put the handle on right here, and you turn it, and it just creates a crazy amount of torque. Another thing on this truck that we wanted when we bought one was a crane. This thing here, we use it all the time. You wouldn't think you would. It's just got one little oil leak right there on a worm gear. That's why you see this, but it's nothing major. Another thing that this truck's got is a vise. We put on this new Wilton vise here this last spring, and it's just super nice to have. All right, so what we got here now is we go open this little door here. This is in the bumper. Got pipes, bars. This here's big maul, that type of stuff. Handy to have. This is for the crane here. Here's the controls right here. Turn it on. Right there, you turn that on. You can run the crane wirelessly. Very handy. Straps for the crane. There's chains. This is that hook we used for that grain leg project. Jumper cables. Big long extension cord. Heavy duty cable winch, hand winch, that type of stuff. There's not much in here. This isn't really set up yet. We just put our blower in here, an extra air hose, and then this here is just all our random hydraulic fittings and connectors. In here, this is kind of our seasonal door. So this depends on what we're doing, if it's springtime or fall. Right now it's set up with a lot of combine stuff. So we got parts, and then we have, we got skids, bearings, sections guards, and then up here's some tillage stuff for the joker, extra one of these for the rolling baskets, and then up here are some extra belts, hose, bearings, and that's your welding rods in right here. In this drawer here, now we have the welding leads for the welder, extinguisher. I got 3 big hydraulic jacks, 1 air jack, and then up here is the cable for the torch, and then we have a tip for a rosebud tip, some soldering rods, different things like that, just in case. As you can tell, this is a vented compartment. So you don't want to put anything in a compartment that isn't vented. So this door here is kind of, this is our oils. So what we have here is we have hydraulic fluid, we got 80/90, 15/40, coolant, mixed gas, funnels, some of these smaller deals for adding to planetaries or idlers, since most everything we have on the farm is tracks. These here, these little oil jugs that you get, really handy, you know, that you've just motor oil for refilling and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of the segment just on the kind of the run through of just the service truck here. A couple things that we'd like to change on it that I'm sure people are going to ask, like, well, what would you do different, or what would you do on it? One thing that we're going to add is this winter we're going to put in LED lights, so strips of lights in each compartment, because it seems like more times than not now lately, especially now that we're doing corn, you're working in the dark, and it's just way nicer having it all lit up, and just open it up or hit a switch, and everything is lit up. And with the LED strips, I think we should be able to tie it into the just the 12-volt system on the truck, so you shouldn't have to have the generator running or nothing like that. Just reach in here and hit a toggle and boom, it lights up.
Should we move on to what we have over here in the workstation?
So this here is Bo's toolbox. He brought it with him when he came to the farm. He's got a lot of specialty stuff in here, mainly geared towards the automotive side. I'm not going to show this. This is his personal toolbox, so whatever he's got in here, if he wants to share with you guys, ask, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind running through some stuff with you. But he's got a lot of stuff in here, a lot of neat things.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in Bo showing you just his toolbox and what he's got in here, and he can explain more in detail what's inside each drawer, then just comment down below, and if we have enough people that are interested in it, we'll do a video on it.
Yeah, I guess as far as the shop goes, we basically work out of the service truck, and then Bo's got his stuff, and we'll kind of use some of that if the service truck ain't here, or just kind of whatever's closer at the moment. And then so that kind of covers the tools. This is our oil. We got hydraulic oil, engine oil. It's all Deere bulk oil. This here is for filling oil on the equipment. You just set your quarts or gallons, and it'll just, well, it's all based off of quarts. So you set your quarts, and you just squeeze the trigger, and it'll pump air pump here until it reaches that and clicks up. So that's really handy. You don't have to carry jugs and make a mess. Air compressor, air reel, and we got electrical reel up here. This is our heavy duty table. Had that built in Grand Forks. At Grand Forks Welding too, they built us a nice heavy duty table. Press, this is one we just pulled out of the old warehouse that we have over here. And what we're gonna do is reset this up so it's got an electric pump on it, and it's an old press, and we're going to rework it. Here's the welding table we had built at Grand Forks Welding. They built us this also. Nice, thick, heavy table. Really something good to pound on. It's really sturdy. So then this here Bo put together, it's like a receiver hitch on the back of your pickup. Here's a square tubing, and then there's just a bolt here. You loosen that up, and you can slide this out, spin it sideways, whatever. If you need the whole table and this is in the way, you can slide it off. It's just a cheap little vise. We didn't want anything too expensive on here. It's a welding table, so you're always beating on it or welding on it, and or tacking something to the jaws. You just don't want to be, I guess we didn't want a nice vise, so we just had this laying around and threw it on here. That's just our grinder, pedal steel grinder wheel, cutting wheel, and then our drill press here. Just some assortment of jacks and tire stuff. Here's our Miller welder, wire welder. So this right here is our plasma cutter. It's very, very handy. You just hook it up to there and it's plugged into the wall. Enough cord goes right to the welding bench. This bandsaw here, we just got it for cutting heavier chunks of steel instead of the torch. And you just put your chunk in here and it's just like a wood saw and it cuts through it, and that's that. Just our roll around torches. And then here we got another cabinet with kind of an assortment of stuff, kind of our brake cleaner stash and some paints, ether, and then some of our miscellaneous oils, ATF, lighter weight oils, and then we just got some grinding stuff here, and then kind of just a random assortment of a few things. This isn't set up perfectly yet. It's still kind of
a work in progress.
Yeah, the whole shop right now is still a kind of a work in progress, especially our welding area here. Oh, and then these studs here, somebody asked about these, what these studs are in the floor. So this here is for a jib crane, and we're gonna get one this winter. We just hadn't got it. We had it cored out, like, I don't know if it was 8 or 10 feet deep. And so there's a heck of a slab, a chunk of cement down underneath this. And then we got a jib crane that'll be coming, and it'll sit right here, and then he'll have a boom on it with electric hoist. So that's something we got to put in yet. We just haven't done it. Well, I guess another thing is on how this here is plumbed. We don't have air plumbed through the whole shop as far as our air system goes for working on stuff. It just goes over there, and it's right there with a 100-foot hose reel on it. So we can pretty much get to whatever we need over there, and then this hose reel pretty much takes care of this area. A lot of stuff is electric now, electric tools. So you don't need, for us anyway, we don't need air around the whole shop. It basically, the 100-footer will reach completely to the other side, and this smaller reel will reach kind of whatever we need around here. And we got set up for 1 inch, so we can hook on the big impact for taking truck tires off and different things like that. So I guess that's kind of it as far as our tools and what we use in here.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions about some of these things that we showed you, just comment down below, and I will try to get back to everybody. So that ends this week's video. And what are we going to tell them?
Peace.
No. We'll see you guys next week.